السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Today, inshallah, we will be talking about efforts done to revive the Islamic jurisprudence in this era. العمل لإنهاض الفقه الإسلامي في هذا العصر. Before delving into the topic, it is important to note that here we are talking about the effort done from an organizational perspective and not from an individual perspective. That means the efforts being done by official Islamic organizations with the sole aim and objective of reviving the Islamic jurisprudence after it has been banished as a ruling and governing system, but not from an individual perspective. Because individuals themselves are learning the Islamic jurisprudence and trying to implement it in their daily life activities. As an introduction, it is important to mention that the need to revive the Islamic jurisprudence was due to several reasons. One of the reasons is that we live in an era of extreme taqlid after the establishment of the Islamic doctrines and after those Islamic doctrines have reached the level or the stage of maturity. By saying extreme taqlid, we are referring to the imitating of one of those Islamic doctrines and following its principles and fundamentals without necessarily going beyond it. So that is one reason. The second reason is that Sharia or the Islamic law as a ruling and governing system has been banished, suspended, and then replaced by the man-made systems. As a result, the Muslims or the Ummah had to do some efforts to revive the Islamic law and make sure that it is present in the daily life activities of the individual Muslims. So what are the efforts done to revive the Islamic jurisprudence in this era? The number one effort is الكفاح من أجل الحفاظ على المحاكم الشرعية التي تختص بالقضاء في الأحوال الشخصية بعيدا عن الأمور المدنية. Nowadays, scholars have strived to maintain and to preserve the Sharia courts, or what is popularly known as the Qadi courts, which are specialized in judging in personal matters, unlike the civil matters which are being handled by the conventional courts. So, in summary, the Qadi courts handle personal matters, and those personal matters involve marriage and divorce issues, number two, inheritance issues, and number three, endowment. So these are things that are being handled by the Islamic court, and the scholars have done great efforts to maintain it. Another effort is المساهمة في المؤتمرات العلمية القانونية, participation in international scientific legal conferences, and one of the most notable ones was the participation in the Hague Conference on Comparative Law in 1927. In which some scholars from Al-Azhar University, the renowned Egyptian university, participated. And as a result of that participation, Sharia was considered as a source of general legislation, or what is known as comparative law. And number two, Sharia was also considered as a source of legislation that is viable and fit for development. Another effort is تأسيس المجاميع الفقهية التي تعنى بالفقه الإسلامي والقضايا الفقهية المعاصرة. That is establishment of academies for Islamic jurisprudence. Academies for Islamic jurisprudence are official scientific institutions that involve a group of scholars from various parts of the world, whose main task is to study the contemporary jurisprudential matters and then issue a fatwa concerning those matters. An example of such jurisprudential academies is Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami al-Dawli, the International Islamic Fiqh Academy, which is an affiliation of OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and was established in 1981. Another example is مجمع البحوث الإسلامية التابع للأزهر, the Al-Azhar Islamic Research Academy, and that one was established in 1961. So these are just two examples of the most prominent jurisprudential academies in the Islamic world. Another effort is عقد المؤتمرات العلمية التي تناقش المسائل الفقهية المعاصرة. That is holding annual scientific conferences that discuss contemporary scientific jurisprudential issues. An example of that is مؤتمر المجمع الإسلامي الدولي, the annual conference of the International Islamic Fiqh Academy, which is held in Jeddah, in KSA, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, every year. Another example is مؤتمر المجلس الأوروبي للإفتاء, the annual conference of the European Council for Fatwa and Research. The European Council for Fatwa and Research is a Muslim official Muslim organization, which involves a group of scholars that discuss issues that are being faced by Muslims who are living in the Western world. Another effort, which is the last one, is Al-Mawsu'atul Fiqhiyya, the jurisprudential encyclopedias. وأبرزها الموسوعة الفقهية الكويتية. One of the most prominent examples is the Kuwaiti Encyclopedia for Jurisprudence. That one is considered as one of the largest jurisprudential encyclopedias nowadays, as it is documenting jurisprudential subjects from the first Islamic century up to the 13th Islamic century. And that encyclopedia, the Kuwaiti Encyclopedia for Islamic Jurisprudence, is containing like 3,000 jurisprudential terms, and it is molded in 45 volumes so far. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا مباركا فيه والحمد لله رب العالمين.